Hello Wolfpack, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going through an article on bold.com called My Opinion, Most Men Aren't Husband Material by Oceana Tepfanhart, I think is how you say it. And you'll see how ironic the title of this article is when we get to the end. The reason I chose this is because it made me spit bile, pretty much. Let's go through it and see what it's all about. Most women I know do actually want a husband or a boyfriend, but finding that is easier said than done. After all, it's hard to have a great relationship when the vast majority of men aren't worth a damn. Look at the arrogance in this already. If you're about to scoff about this, consider the writing on the wall. Number one, the fact that having a side chick is so widespread is a major problem. Not for the men with side chicks, it isn't. I think they're having a great time. Our generation simply has a massive gap when it comes to infidelity. Guys see having two girls like a status symbol. On the other hand, if girls do it, we're promiscuous. The truth is that men who would have a side chick deserve no chick at all. You don't get to decide. You know? You really don't get to decide the matter. The fact of the whole situation is that it's extremely difficult for a guy to actually get a relationship or some action in the first place. So a guy that can actually have two going at the same time deserves at least some degree of respect because they've actually managed to seduce or attract women. Obviously, the quality of the women has a big impact as well, right? But that's why they're seen as being successful or as being legendary. Whereas women, most men, like if a woman goes up to some random guy in the street and just offers up like action, a dude is going to accept that usually. If they're even like a 4, you know, most guys aren't going to turn down that free offer. So it's just low hanging fruit. So it's much easier for a girl to have like a rotation of dudes than a guy to even just get one woman that he can regularly engage with. So to compare the two is just an absolute fallacy. But you'll see why she's comparing the two when we get to the end. 2, guys have gotten increasingly demanding with looks. I think guys have actually just been attracted on the basis of looks since time immemorial. It's just coded into their DNA. It's all too common to hear guys bemoan how they can't get a hot girl while they themselves bring little in terms of looks to the table. On the basis of what? I mean, guys should be trying to enhance their looks as much as possible, whether that's training in the gym, looking after their appearance and clothes and things like that. That's just, they should do that for their own personal benefit, okay? The fact that men who often look like troll dolls with pot bellies will demand to have a solid dime is hypocrisy at its finest. They should learn to be more open-minded about looks. After all, most girls I've met will give a not-so-hot guy a shot if his personality is good. And his wallet. Don't forget that. And his wallet. You're asking men to basically ignore their DNA. And that's just impossible. You're asking men to completely ignore their fundamental biology, which is that they're attracted to, feminine-looking women. Attractive women. You know, most men are going to be attracted to your stereotypical Victoria's Secret model, right? Unless they've got some weird preferences. So again, she's just arguing with a brick wall here. 3, statistically, women are more likely to be employed than men. This means that some guys can't even put food on the table. Traditionally, that's their job. Why do you suddenly care about tradition now? While that could suggest more stay-at-home dads, statistics show that women still will also end up doing most of the work around the house too. Why would anyone marry someone who's basically unable or unwilling to contribute anything? If he's not working and not homemaking, he's not worth it. Yeah, again, there's a lot of vitriol coming at me from this article, but if you're a guy who's just a complete bum, then you've got no reason to complain. But what this channel is about is helping men to achieve their own self-determination and the highest sort of genetic potential that they can realize in their life and to actually reach that. So, yeah, if you're a bum, then you have no excuse. But if you're not, keep going out there and keep doing your best. Rudeness is at an unprecedented level. Yeah, have you seen any online dating apps or Instagram? It's true, if you don't believe it, go on OkCupid and talk to some men. Generally speaking, Men who are fine with being rude to women before a date even starts aren't worth dating, marrying, or even speaking to. Have you actually... I mean, there's no excuse for that, of course, right? But have you ever been on a dating app and just swiped through pages and the level of entitlement and narcissism and ignorance that's on display from a lot of the female profiles? No, if you're not 6 foot or above, you don't even get a look in. And, you know, you'll all have seen, like, the amount of profiles out there where they're just like, no Trump supporters, you know, no conservatives. I've never once seen, and that's not to say I'm supporting Trump in any way, but I wouldn't put that on my profile to just disregard someone on the basis of political views. I'd actually want to talk to them first. But you see that all the time from a section of the dating pool just completely dismiss a whole segment of the populace on the basis of political preference. Usually it's coming from the left as well. Number 5, our generation is plagued with the way that we're always looking to trade up. Yeah, you've just described female hypergamy. We trade up jobs all the time. We trade up our iPhones, our furniture, and at times even our friends. The only time I trade my phone is when it's obsolete. So, like, I think my current phone is like 3 years old. I'm just trying, and the battery's had it. I'll just keep it because I don't care about having the latest crap. Furniture, again, I'll get the most use out of it as possible because I care about deploying money elsewhere. And at times even our friends. No, I've never traded up friends, personally. I've got close friends that I've known for 20 years, and I've never swapped them out because I believe in you should respect real friendship. Sadly, our generation also tends to take this attitude with significant others. While this isn't always a common sentiment, it happens frequently enough that certain guys just don't realise what they had until they are old, alone, and traded out. This is projection. This is absolute projection. This is her projecting her issues onto men, and I think she'll get called out on this. Number 6, too many men out there have a major Peter Pan complex. So, who cares? Too many guys out there expect their parents to take care of them. When they're out of the house, they then expect their girlfriends to take care of them. How many honestly expect that? You'd be amazed how many guys are living on their own and managing their own affairs. Unless you have a serious Florence Nightingale syndrome at work, it's pretty obvious why these guys aren't good boyfriend material. Yeah, I mean, if you are like this and you're a guy, then you need to have a long, hard look at yourself and upgrade your lifestyle. But I think the amount of them that are around is massively overestimated in this piece. Number 7, the nice guy complex is strong with too many guys out there. They're so nice until you say no, then they shriek in anger, call you a friend-zoning bee, and can't get why you won't give nice guys like them a chance. Next. Number 8, they're insecure. For all the stuff so many men demand, millennial men tend to be exceptionally insecure. This just tends to open up an entire can of worms ranging from S-shaming to passive-aggressive behaviour. Do women need this in their lives? Absolutely not. Again, have you ever seen a female's dating app profile and the level of demands? A guy has to be in the top 1% of guys to even have realistic dating opportunities with women who are even, average looking. You've got to have the 6 figures, you've got to have an established residence, you've got to have 6-pack abs oftentimes, 666, right? So, and again, that places you in the top echelons of the male distribution. So yeah, this is pure projection throughout this entire article, and it's annoying. Number 9, some straight up just lost interest in a relationship. Oh, you don't say. There's millions of us. Some guys feel like there's only loss to be had by getting into a relationship. They feel like women only want their money, or feel like there's more to be had by just keeping it at booty calls with multiple women. They don't want families, nor do they care about anything other than themselves. It's sad, it's crappy, and it tells volumes about the current state of how many men out there think. One can only wonder how that will work out for them 30 years from now. Yeah, they're not losing anything by not engaging with you, I'm afraid to say. Because this article just comes across as being very bitter, twisted, narcissistic, entitled. And it's no wonder no one wants to date you. And then here's the final projection point. Men are way too entitled. Unreal. We have to dodge guys who feel entitled to intimacy. We have to deal with men who think they deserve a supermodel when they have faces that look like feet. We have to deal with guys who call us Shallow when we reject them for not even having a job going for them. F that noise. With the winners in the current dating pool, who can blame girls for staying single? And after all that, let's have a guess at what this author looks like. What do you think? What do you think? Here we go. There she is. Pink hair. 2 at best. Definitely, I would say, on the left of the political spectrum. Here are the comments, and some guys here have done an absolute takedown on this piece. Some are just angry. Out of all the writers penning B pieces of no substance for this man-hating trash heap of a website, you are seriously one of the dumbest. Men are too obsessed with looks that you keep insisting on this right of women to trade up. And she did mention about looks, to be honest, men not looking. It's just complete projection. Where are all the good men off by themselves getting effing fed up? He was that angry, he even posted again. Men are so entitled, says the entitled princess. Men are too focused on looks. I don't want a guy whose face looks like a foot. Hamster wheel, spin, spin, spin. Oh, these nice guys are just the worst. They all claim to be nice until you tell them no. Yeah, but why are you saying no in the first place? Could it be, gasp, you're focusing just as much on looks as what you're accusing of guys, and the reason some guys get angry is because no is all we hear. Nice guys are average. Average is boring. Average gets divorced in 7 years and taken to the cleaners if he does manage to find someone. Average doesn't set off your tingles and girlish giggles. We hear all this constant moaning and swooning about why can't I find a nice guy, and then the instant one shows up he gets blown off with this entitled nice guy friend-zoning shtick, and nice is the baseline, but then any pretty-faced playboy or thuggish dancer boy can charm you out of your pants. You talk about the writing on the wall, but let's talk about the writing on the wall of effinism. Despite your claims, I don't know of any decent man who has a side chick. If anything, the person most likely to have a side chick is the alpha bad boy Chad types you all go gaga for. Yet so many effinist websites seem to vehemently defend this entitlement to hypergamy to be able to trade up as if men were just objects. Face it, more and more people are waking up to the hypocrisy of effinism. Again, my boy Merlin, most women ain't wife material either, that's why Chads keep dumping you. Plenty of projecting own issues on opposite sex here. Tom Jones, Undead Chronic, has a word for you. Lol. Jose Diaz, I waste people's time by making them read this crap. Glenn Webb, personally, I hope the deceased skank who wrote this tripe gets hit by a truck right after finding out about a world-class case of herpagonosyphiliada. GFYS, you vile, self-absorbed puddle of vomit. Safe to say that Glenn is a bit annoyed at the article. And then perhaps one of the best posts here is actually from a woman, Hannah, who says, my opinion, most men aren't husband material. You clearly feel you deserve a top 1% man. And then she goes through to actually address each of the points. So I'll just pick out the key aspects here. Number one, the fact that having a side chick is so widespread is a major problem. How many guy friends, orbiters, do you have? Do you have social media? If so, what kind of pics do you post? And how many guy friends do you keep on as friends to validate you? Would you be willing to give up your social media once in a relationship? Guys have gotten increasingly demanding with looks. How old are you? How many partners have you had? Have you ever had a one-night stand, etc.? If you spent your youth and beauty among a multitude of guys during your 20s, you'll never be a woman worth marrying. You've far surpassed the possibility of pair bonding with a man, since you've already tossed a little piece of your greatest gift to how many men is it? I know you're looking for a sucker to provide you with a home, feed you, buy you a car, pay for your insurance, and be understanding when you go clubbing with your woke friends. You're going to have to settle for a foolish beta male dumb enough to marry you, and as soon as you get bored, you'll start cheating on him with losers. When he finally catches you, you'll divorce. The government will help you steal at least half of his life's work. This is beautiful. I couldn't put it better myself. You'll accuse him of abuse if that helps your cause, and your friends will cheer you on. You go, girl. You'll get custody of the kids, if there are any, and they'll spend more time with you and your unemployed bad boy loser. Your unemployed bad boy that you let live with you than with their real father. Number 4, statistically, women are more likely to be employed. The effeminist agenda was created and controlled by hidden elite who wish to destroy the nuclear family and therefore civilization so they can depopulate and enslave the survivors. They've made it easy for women and different groups to succeed while unleashing a war against boys, men, and masculinity. You remember masculinity, don't you? That's that little thing that whenever your hormones start raging, compels you to unleash your inner nympho. Yeah, and of course, if women are more likely to be employed than men, but a lot of the jobs they have are these air-conditioned office deployments. They're not taking bullets in foreign countries, or they're not down under the city streets in the sewers sorting out, fatbergs. So rudeness is at an unprecedented level among miserable, continually furious, man-hating Fs. Our generation is plagued with the way that we're always looking to trade up. Monkey branching is primarily a female behaviour. Too many men out there have a major Peter Pan complex. Too many women have a princess complex. And lastly, the nice guy complex is strong with too many guys out there. You don't want to sleep with nice guys. You only want them to hang around and validate you. You only get wet for bad boys. Well, yeah, that's an awesome takedown of the piece. I think you'll all agree. And I think the key take-home message here is that these are just some of the reasons why men are turning their backs on this whole charade and looking after ourselves, man. And that's the key. That is absolutely the key. Look after yourself. Ignore all this noise. It's just the death throes of a toxic ideology that has had its day. And it's responsible for a great deal of unhappiness and depression. Thanks for listening, as always, guys. I appreciate you tuning in to this episode, and I'll catch you next time.